Third time lucky. Hello, everyone. This is Eric trying to go live for the third time tonight. Okay, so as many of you probably saw, there was a problem with the first live stream and the second live stream. It abruptly ended. So what happened was Luza Ang was supposed to join me online, and we tried a few ways to try and get her to come on live, but there were many problems. So I decided just to do the live stream normally, and then I will have an interview with Luza Ang, and then I will record that interview and then share it with you. So for the third time tonight, welcome to this live stream. We've had a struggle tonight, but I'm finally here. Mrs. Abuela. Okay, hope this job. I hope it's here. Mrs. Abuela, how are you doing? BTS, hi again, Eric. Hi, BTS. Thank you for joining. Ulfa, and I'm Ulfa. I've been joining many times. You got this. Thank you so much, Ulfa. I think, we are going to have difficulties in life. I was so excited to share Luza Ang's story because I interviewed her before and it was so interesting. So the first time I tried to get her to join, and then there was a problem. And the second time, there was a problem with the audio, so I'll fix it in the future. But thank you so much for joining again, Ulfa. Tatia, greetings from Georgia. You're back again. Hi, Tatia. And Dahin, hello again. Oh, those eye rolls. It hurts my heart. Okay, and my mom says, you will have joy next time. Okay, you will have joy next time. I will. Moments, hi, greetings from India. It's my first time that I watch you live. Okay, BTS, thank you for joining. Usually it works better, but this is the first. We were trying something. Adiba, hi. I saw your message before. Luza Ang, hello. Never mind. It's okay. We can meet next time. I'm so sad, guys. Luza Ang has a great story. She's been teaching for so many years to many students, and I feel with teaching is we learn so much from each other. We can through our stories, our experiences, our ideas. We can learn so much from each other, and that's why I love having these interviews, especially with interesting teachers like Luza Ang. Tamila, hi again. Salma, happy to be here again. I think now this is working. Yes, Mrs. Abiola, I'm finally here. Guys, my name is Eric. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, how are you doing this week? Put it in the comments below. So today we will go back to normal questions. Hopefully, during the week, I'll try and interview Luza Ang and put her story out there. It's not exactly the same like a live stream, but I hope that you'll get value from it. So what's going on this week? Actually, this is my last week of vacation. Next week, I return to classes, and I'm excited. As every time before class starts, you're kind of nervous, but you're excited to meet lots of students. So every semester I get new students, but I think with this semester, many of the students are joining me again, which is a good sign. It shows that they enjoyed my classes before. The students at university can pick which teachers they want to go to. So I feel like many students are coming back to my classes. It's a good sign. And I hope that I can have a good semester, teach a little bit, try new techniques. I've got so many new resources that I want to try out. Mrs. Abiola says, hi, Luza Ang. Ulfa says, well, Eric, how long have you been teaching English? Ulfa, I've been teaching 15 years now. I taught in South Africa for 3 years. Then I came to South Korea, where I taught young learners, elementary school learners for 2 years, and I moved to a science high school where the students were really good, and I taught there for 5 years. And then I moved to university, where I'm currently teaching university. They're basically maybe beginner to intermediate students, and we focus on their speaking. So I've been teaching for almost 15 years now. Ufa, how about you? Tell me something about your teaching. Share anything you want to share. I want to learn something new about you. Nada, hi, Eric. What are the best books for teachers? Now, Nada, I know that people usually ask either one of two things. what books can teachers use to improve their teaching? Or many teachers ask, Eric, I need a syllabus. I need books for my students. Now, the first answer to what are some books for teachers, there are many books. It depends what you need. There are books about classroom management, how to include students. Some of the books that I found that work really well, there's one called Teach 2.0 by a teacher. I don't remember his name right now. A great book. And then another book that I normally recommend to new teachers is The First Days of School by Harry Wong. I think both very good very good books. And I think those are useful. And then for books that I enjoy using as an ESL teacher, I've used many different books. I still don't feel comfortable recommending one set of books because it depends on what a teacher wants to accomplish with their students. For very young learners, if you're teaching phonics, many teachers are happy with Jolly Phonics. It's a series of books that teach young learners phonics first. But I've also seen a lot of great books for elementary school up to high school and university. I hope to do a series of videos exactly on what books I enjoy or what I would suggest. But right now, I don't feel 100% comfortable with sharing that yet. I will in the future. Adiba, next week my school is also open. We're going to school. Are you excited, Adiba? It must be exciting. Okay, BTS, can we talk about teaching young learners a bit? 100%. One of the videos I'm currently working on is how to teach young learners. Now, you've got to understand with young learners, many of them aren't even proficient in their own language yet. You're supposed to help them learn the English characters, learn some basic sight words, some useful words that they can use in their everyday life. You can use flashcards to teach them with the words underneath. You can make sure to use activities that get the students that they can see the words, that they can act it out. You should get the students to interact with the words in fun ways. That means you should use chants, lots of games, board races. I was talking to a teacher this last weekend, and she taught me something very interesting. So she teaches very young learners, and she said, Eric, my students love the ABC game. And I said, okay, what's the ABC game? She said, it's very simple. Point to a student and say A, and they have to stand up and say A. A, B, C, D. So you start slowly, and it sounds very simple, but you get the students to sit down, and then you just repeat you say the alphabet. The students are supposed to stand up quickly and say the word out loud and then sit down. It sounds silly, but the students absolutely love it. A, B, C, D, E, F. So you can point to the same students and they stand up and they have to say out the words. And the students get so excited because they have to pay attention and they are expecting you to point them out and they have to stand up and say the word. It's very simple, but very exciting to those students. You can even take it a step further where you say, let's say you've got 8 students in your class. Then you give each student maybe 3 letters. Let's say A, B, and C, E, F, and G. So each student gets 8 letters. And then you write a word on the board, and the students have to spell the letter by standing up with their letter, right? So that's they have to spell the word by standing up with their letter. There are so many easy games that you can play with your students to get them used to English and enjoying it at the same time. Now, I don't say enjoying English. You shouldn't take it very lightly because these kids, if they enjoy something, they are motivated to play and to use it in their everyday life. So you've got to get the students interested in English. And if you just make learning all about writing down and rote learning and memorization, it's not going to be fun. It has to be active. Okay, so that's something I wanted to say. Edgar, hello. What would you suggest to get resources to teach differently? What do you mean by teaching differently, Edgar? I think the main thing is that we should approach teaching in a way that suits our students and our students' needs. Now, I would say with differently, each teacher is unique because we are unique individuals and we approach teaching in a different way. But then the way that we teach should also help our students achieve the goals that we set for them. So you can teach in a way that that suits you. It could be that you use more activities, you speak more, or you question them more, or you use activities or pictures that you enjoy, or you use your own experiences to help the students. You can approach teaching in a way that suits you, but just remember that the students are always number one. And that's why we talk about student-centered approach. Now, you're talking about resources. Always think about the students. What resources would they enjoy? What type of activities? What resources would they find interesting? Now, I've shared a lot of websites where you can find activities and games to play with your students, and I'll share some more in the future. Let me ask you, Edgar, what's your favorite activity, or what resources do you enjoy using with your students? Just so that I can get an idea for it. Sorry, guys. By the way, today is a wild day. I tried to do the live stream 3 times because we were trying to get Luza Ang online, but the sound didn't work and the video didn't work well. So this is our 3rd time that we're doing it. Parveen, hello from Bangladesh. Hi, Parveen. Lovely to have you. Agnieszka from Poland. Hi, Agnieszka. Recently, I've been thinking, I really just want to travel. I've got to wait 1 more year. Hopefully next year, summer, I can finally go to Europe. I think that's my next plan. Richie, is it true that you learn more about English language the more you teach it? Sure, definitely. I mean, it's like that with anything in life. The more you use something, the better you will become at it. So, I've learned so many things just from teaching because I've got to prepare for my students. So I'm learning, I'm preparing, I'm seeing what kind of mistakes they make, and I'm also finding new ways to help them learn English. So obviously you will also improve and you will learn more about the language too. Luza Ang, I've been teaching for almost 40 years. I started as an early years teacher, then after the 1990s started to teach. So that was my first question to you, Luza Ang, is when did you start teaching? Because I think you bring a wealth of experience, and I'm sure you've got so many stories to tell us. So hopefully when we do the live stream, or not the live stream, I'm going to record you, and hopefully whenever you have time, I will record you. I'm going to get you to share some of these ideas. I think it'll be so valuable to us. Seema, hi Eric. Hello everyone. Good vibes. Thank you so much, Seema. Anna, I love teaching young learners. You know, Anna, I've got a lot of respect for teachers that teach young learners because I know how difficult it can be, and so I think that's great that you love it. Keisha, hi Eric. Hi Keisha, how are you doing? It looks like you're doing great. I need to talk to you soon to hear how you're doing. Ulfa, I've been teaching since 2016, 5 years already. That's a good time to be teaching. I'm very excited to go to school. Adiba, it must be. I always loved going to school. You know, I remember growing up. The day before school, I would set out all my clothes on a chair right next to my bed, especially right before fall. You know, once it starts getting cooler, I've got my school, my socks, my pants, everything. Made sure to iron my shirts. I was so excited. And then you get to school, there's this vibrant energy. Just enjoy it, have fun, enjoy seeing your friends and your teachers. I'm very excited to meet all my students. Dahin, main advice for a sparkling, fresh, enthusiastic back to school. I actually want to relocate. Doesn't seem for work now. Still, I've got one foot here and the other foot there. Distracted mind is bad. Yeah, I think it's better if we focus. If you set goals for yourself and you say, okay, well, this semester I want to focus on one thing. It's one thing to be excited and eager to start, but you've got to focus that energy into a way. And I think don't make it too big an idea. Just say, okay, well, this semester I'm going to focus on trying out a new activity once a week. Or for myself, I think perhaps doing something like I'm going to learn something new about my students every day I see them. And it sounds like a simple goal, but every class, if I can learn something new about a student, I can apply that in to the teaching. So usually when I meet my students, I make some notes on them. I write something about them. Did they have a pet? What did they do during summer break? What hobbies do they have? And then I write these things down. And then when I teach them the next week, perhaps for one of the students, I can ask him, oh, how is your pet doing? Did you go for a walk with them? What is something funny that your pet did this week? Or if it's about an activity, you can say, hi, how is that going? Or if it's about a family member, you ask them. And that is a way for you to build a relationship with the students. And it's also a way for them to interact with you and also to interact in English. So that's something that I'm trying to do from tomorrow. Let's see. Richie, how do you deal with cultural influence of teaching English? In other words, English, as with all languages, it's culturally and contextually specific. This is a fantastic question, Richie. I think it's fantastic to bring culture into English. Like we said, with teaching English, students are supposed to be creating these connections. And not only are they supposed to share things from their own culture, but they're also supposed to learn other things from a culture in English. So we bring it up all the time. You'll see that in many English classes, we talk about special holidays across the world, certain things that happen in other countries. We talk about news. So it's very important to bring it up. That way the students are learning new things. I think what's great with languages especially, or any subject that we teach, if you can share something with your students that they find interesting and share worthy to family, to friends, they will learn it much quicker. And that's why something like trivia is very important, because if I tell you some interesting fact about something, and it's share worthy, as in, it might be interesting to share it to a friend, you're more likely to remember it. Now with English, if we can start bringing in something that's interesting about culture, or about a word, or about something about the language, and the students think, oh, this is something cool, I can tell my friend about it, they're more likely to learn it. This isn't perhaps, that's just a small idea I have. Let me think about it a little bit more, because it's a very interesting question, sharing cultures through English and also context. Mario, hello Mario. Guys, I want to say it's so nice to see your faces. I'm so disappointed that this is the first time ever that I cut short a live stream. So I did it twice. The first live stream I cut short to trying to get Luza Ang on, and the second one the audio wasn't working properly and I cut it off. So I was very disappointed not having it work out, and but I'm so grateful that all of you are here to chat to, and I hope from next week I will sort it out. We're all learning, and hopefully if I have someone on in the future, I can do it more seamlessly. BTS, how can teachers make an online class attractive? BTS, actually, I did a video on how to do that. Get the students to interact, use fun games, use a pen and paper, get the students to write down things, show it to the camera. There are lots of games. If you use Zoom, for example, you can let the students write things on the whiteboard. If you're sharing a PPT, you can ask them, you can write things down, you can circle it, you can ask the students to read, get them to interact with it. If you're teaching grammar, use the students as examples and ask them to role play things in class. I think that works. Actually, with my classes this semester, we had the option to present in normal classes in class, real classes, or hybrid or online. Now, the majority of teachers prefer to teach in class because obviously that's what we love to do as teachers. But I thought I'd do it a little bit more differently. I want to try out some new techniques. I've been eager to try online and some more games and activities, resources. So I'm going to be teaching online, and when I learn new things, I'll definitely share it on the channel. Ulfa, I was a fresh university student at that time, but my senior told me to join his team to teach kids. The team encouraged me to learn by doing, and sure, experience is a great teacher. I remember I first started teaching, and there was a teacher that said that the first 2 years of teaching is just for you to gain experience, to learn, and then after that, you are a real teacher. I don't think so. I disagree with that teacher. I think as soon as you step in front of the class, you are a teacher, and whatever experience you pick up, the lessons that you learn will just improve your teaching. And we should remain lifelong learners. We're always going to learn new things. And we're never going to be perfect. We're going to get better, and we're going to learn what works and what doesn't work, but it's never going to end. So, sometimes when I see new teachers starting to teach and enter education, they do such an amazing job with their excitement and their energy that they bring to it. Maybe they bring a brand new perspective on teaching that, we haven't thought of. So that's why many of you don't know this. I love interviewing teachers. The very first person I interviewed was a brand new teacher, a student teacher, to share their experience, because they might have a different viewpoint or angle and might have learned something new at university. But I also like to bring on teachers with a wealth of experience to share with us. And I think I'll continue to do that on this channel as soon as I figure out the live streams and make sure that it's working. Moments, hi. I believe in sharing experience and love listening to the experiences 100%. That's why I always bring on new teachers, because obviously I can share my experiences and I can talk with you, but it just helps so much having another teacher on here. Q Gore, hi from Vietnam. Hi. I love that heart at the end. Sylvia, hello from Spain. Where are you from? I always wonder. Sylvia, I'm originally from South Africa, but I'm currently teaching in South Korea. Dina, I think teaching young learners is difficult. It is 100%. Some teachers are just fantastic at it. But I don't like to say that I've got a huge amount of respect for teachers that teach young learners, because it's difficult. But I also think that it's different. You've got to find a different approach to teaching young learners that you would some learners with more experience and that are at a different level at of their lives. So it is different. I think it's more difficult because there are so many things that you've got to take into consideration. But there are some teachers that just absolutely love it. Laxus, hi Eric. What English activities could we give high school students when we are teaching vocabulary? High school students. I've taught high school students for a long time. The easiest way is you give them a vocabulary list and they can play some games with it. You can also perhaps do something where they should find vocabulary. Let's say you give them a picture and you say, okay, guys, I want you to write down as many words as possible. And then they write down the words, and then you say, so let's say you get let's say you've got 8 students, and you give them you give them a couple of, you give them each a different photo. They find the photos and then they share the vocabulary with the other students. Or let's think about it. Let's say you're doing a lesson and you've got a photo and vocabulary you want to share them with them with a dialogue. First, you give them the photo or the picture and you say, okay, write down as many words as you can in 2 minutes. Then you let them you put them into groups and they compare the words they have and they share the ones they have that their friend might not have, or they share it with the class. Then after that, you share some the vocabulary that you wanted to share with them. You say, okay, guys, these are all the words you found. These are the extra ones. Now, how can you use it in a sentence? Because I think vocabulary is useless unless the students can apply it in the lesson. That means, it could be with a dialogue, a writing activity where they have to use the vocabulary. Because if they only copy the vocabulary and they don't use it in context, they aren't going to improve that much. So very important for them to apply the vocabulary. Actually, I did a video. It's one of my more popular videos that I enjoyed making, and it is all about vocabulary activities that I kind of enjoy. I can't remember all of them, but I just remember making a video like this. I'm quickly going to share it with you, Laxis. Thank you for that great question, by the way. I hope I made sense. Guys, I know I'm a bit all over the place. I'm so disappointed, but I really enjoy having you here, and thank you for picking me up. Sylvia, I teach middle and high school. Not easy with hybrid and masks, but we survive. See, that's the attitude I like. I would rather have someone with a positive attitude that take these challenges and try out new techniques and be positive. This is something I wanted to share before. As teachers, we have our own lives and we go through difficult situations, not only in our personal lives, but in our classes too. Very difficult times. But the students look towards us to remain positive, because if you're just going to be like, guys, I hate the masks, I hate teaching, the students are going to hate it. How can they be upbeat and excited about learning if their teacher is so negative? So, whatever you are going through in your life, it is up to you as the teacher to be the leader in class and to set an example for your students. So if you are positive and you're happy no matter what's going on, the students are going to learn from that. Now, 2 weeks ago, I did a webinar on teaching special needs online. And one of the things I shared was, we don't know what's happening in our students' lives. They might be going through very difficult situations. And just by them coming to your class, if it's online or if it's in person, and they have a great time, that might be the only time where they have an opportunity to enjoy their lives. They might be having problems with their family. They might not have food at home. They might be fighting with their brother or sister or their friend. And then when they come to your class, they see your smile, your positive attitude. They are learning, they are playing, and it's just a beacon of light. And we've got to remember that. Laxis. Hi, Eric. Wait, I think I answered that one, Laxis. I hope it helps. Am I too slow? No, I'm okay. Kim An, hi. It's been a while. Richie, what do you find most challenging about teaching? Wow. It's such a simple question, but very difficult, Richie. There are many challenges. It's reaching students that don't want to learn is very difficult. Fighting with administration, making sure that you cover all the goals and objectives for that lesson. Working with parents, working with colleagues. What is the most challenging, though? I think it depends for everyone. For myself personally, Yeah, it's making sure that I teach the students what they need to learn. It makes me sad if I get to the end of a semester and a student is failing or they're not interested in class, because then I feel like a failure. I failed. But if I can cover all my bases and I make sure that they reach those requirements and they learn something extra or they have a good experience, that makes me happy. But a very good question, Richie. Thank you. Yeah, very tough. Keenan Fun Hees. Hi, Eric. What are some effective way of embedding formative and summative assessment into classroom practice? Wonderful question, Keenan. So, formative. So, obviously, we want to check up on our students. We can use formative assessment during the lesson, checking up on them. Before class, when you start your class, a simple way is having the students, if you're teaching a certain topic, you can get your students to write down what they know about it. So before you even teach, you've got an idea of where they are. You say, okay, everyone, today we're teaching this. What do you know about this? Or today we're going to talk about this grammar. Or can you give me an example of this grammar just to see where they are? And then you can kind of, during the lesson, obviously you can do these check-ins where you write something on the board and you say, okay, guys, I want you to do these 5 activities quickly. It actually, these assessments can help you in your class. So when you move between activities, right? When you, what do we call it? Once you move between activities, you can actually have a small assessment that you do to check that to check the students' understanding, to see how they're progressing. At the end of the lesson, you can do some more summative assessment where you do a quick listening activity and see how much they understand of that. A very good question. You guys are catching me off guard with these good ones. But I think between transitions, it's good to test your students. And then at the end of class, you can also use something like exit tickets to make sure that all the students understand and to see if they meet those objectives that you want them to reach at the end of class. I like to ask my students, what is that acronym where you ask the students, what do they know? This is really good. So there's an acronym where the students can write down what do they know, or what they learned during class, and what they want to learn in the future, something like that. The students can write that down. I need to remember that acronym. If anybody remembers, please put it in the chat. I think it's very useful that. So, Keenan, let me think about this. I love this because many teachers have asked me about assessment, and I don't think I've done many videos on it. Now, and I'd like to do it because it helps me learn too. Really good question. Tamila, apparently we begin online teaching, and this makes me not so excited. Tamila, see it as an opportunity to try new techniques and to engage your students in a different way. And also challenge your students. Tell your students, okay, guys, we're not in class, but we're going to try some of these new fun activities. Sorry, guys, I'm very late. I have another question. What target language can we teach students using songs? Songs, something that's catchy, something that's easy to understand, and something that you can replicate and the students can apply in their everyday lives too. So it shouldn't be some pop song that is useless. It should have some grammar or some vocabulary that they can use in their lives. Hi, Carlos from Honduras. Sarah, hi. Honey, apart from activities and games, how can we stay motivated as a teacher? How do you stay motivated? I just make sure I get to know my students and I find out new things about them, and also I can share some things from my own life with them. I think that's important. Very good question about the energy too. I think you can do things in your physical life, So, for example, making sure you sleep well, eating well, exercising, making sure that you relax before class. Those are things to have energy. And then every time when class starts, you basically condition yourself to be full of energy when they come into the class. Teachers Tech, hi. How often do you games and activities in your class? Many times, multiple times. You don't want to think about class as just like, okay, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 activities. Constantly through class, I do maybe 5 activities. And actually, guys, on Tuesday, I might share a video. I'm busy editing it now, how to teach ESL. And I go through many of the games and activities I use in my classes. Tupan, hi. Sorry, guys, I'm quickly running through. Sarah, in online exam, how do we solve students' problems and how we understand an exam without teaching? I love your suggestions. Well, there are many ways to test our students. There are lots of tools that we can use online that the students have a limited time that they have to use it. You can also, if it's a written test, they've got a limited time, make sure that their video is on and you can see them. Or, you can check, you can ask them to give specific answers from their lives, so not just to have ABC answers, but for them to write down examples, and they have to give an example from their own lives. That way you can check that they don't use their friend's answer. A few ways to do it. The students' problems too. A good way is to check what mistakes many students make and then address those in some of your classes. Mario, that game you played on a video that had a student to ask if it was me was a benefit. I couldn't answer. Mario, is it the last video I made? Sorry, I'm not sure which one that is. Carla, I have troubles with fulfilling books with ELL class with reading lessons so they may enjoy and do not feel. Yeah, so make the students read it. And then, so you're asking with these reading lessons, what should they do? So with the reading lessons, get the students to read it, get them to use some of the vocabulary from the reading and write down sentences. So you can say, okay, well, guys, in this page, I want you to pick 5 interesting words and I want you to make a different sentence using that word. Or if they're reading a part, ask them to make a story with their partner from that reading part. Or just let them interact with the reading. Get them to use more activities. Guys, we are almost at the end of the chat. I'm just going to go through quickly to read it. I might have a Zoom interview. What are the main advice you give when it comes to interviews in general, via Zoom in particular? I always try to be spontaneous, natural, add a bit of humor. One of the best pieces of advice is get a piece of paper, and when the interviewer asks you something, write down your ideas to give a good example. Also prepare, you want to be natural, but you also want to prepare for some of the most the questions that get most used the most. So, for example, if you're going to teach online, what online teaching techniques do you use? How do you see yourself as a teacher? What problems do some of your students have when teaching? So think of these questions that they always ask, and think of some general questions that you want to answer. And often in these interviews, the interviewers share some things from their own lives and experiences. Write down, and that will make it easier when you answer. Luza Ang, an idea about photo or picture. They can take turns to find words they like, find 4 letters you like, find 4 letters, and so on. That's a good idea. So it's one way that they engage with those pictures. I really like that. Ufa says, let's see. Lifelong learners here. Monday is coming, fighting teachers. Yeah, guys, good luck with your classes. We're starting tomorrow. This working, great for taking the time to do this. Hello, Mr. Solve their problems. I see. I put a smiley face next to the date this year. Excellent. What's the best way of learning English for preparing myself for IELTS? Study. Dina, I can't help you with that. Learning English for preparing, just study the vocabulary, go through the books, apply yourself. You can get a teacher. Oh, cool. KWL. Thank you, Grisella. You are a star. KWL. What does it stand for again? LKW. You guys are so a cool chart. Thank you, Keenan. You guys are so acronym for cool chart. Thank you. Ma'am, hello, Eric. I'm going to ask, what is the most important technique? Because all my students could not speak English. Currently, I'm in Thailand. Get your students to share. If you've got the vocabulary or lesson, get your students to interact with that vocabulary any way they can and share it and use it. I think that's the most important. Jineth, hi, greetings from India. Could you suggest some activities to make use English movies and documentaries? Use clips. Don't use things that are too long. Use useful clips. Get your students to interact with it and maybe get them to write down some dialogues from the movies and the clips and to use it. Get them to role play some of the some of the scenes. If there's an interesting scene, ask your students to role play it. They can change it however they want to. You know, it's all about getting our students to use these things we try and teach them. It's a cool chart. Thank you so much, Becky. Guys, I know that I've got a lot to learn. I feel like I miss many things when I answer, but that's why I do these live streams, is to share and you guys to help me too. So I'm so grateful. Bonnie Esther, ciao, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you for coming back, Bonnie Esther and everyone. I know it was a really difficult one. It's always good to have some papers on the side to write down. Definitely, Mario. Let's see. Meme, thank you so much, bro. Your videos help me. Excellent. Thank you, Meme. Carla, gracias by answering my questions, you fan. Thank you so much, Carla. Grisella, I know I learned. I want to know. Thank you. Aisha, hi. Elizabeth, hi. It's been a while, Elizabeth. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Luza Ang, I apologize for not figuring out everything and not having you on. I'm going to chat to you during the week. Everyone, school starting. Good luck. Have a good time. And thank you for being here. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.